Halfland, an ahistorical prehistory. Bragga and Lobkag. In the 135th year of the Common Reckoning, the orcs Bragga and Lobkag fought a ritual combat to determine who would lead the Orcan army to war against the forces of Aristos. The agreed terms of the combat were that no orc other than the two combatants would participate. But Lobkag did not fight alone. In his youth he had journeyed up the Orcan flood to its source deep in the Wolf Rock Mountains and returned with a she-cub of a great wolf. Lobkag had trained this wolf so that now, fully grown, she allowed him to ride on her back, and it was thus mounted that he fought. Bragga had no great wolf to assist him. He fought on foot. Like Lobkag, he wore full armour and carried sword and shield. The location of the fight was a small field just outside Dogopolis. The field had been used to keep livestock and was covered with close-cropped grass. In one corner there was a solitary tree. Crowds of orcs lined the dry stone walls that surrounded the field, eager to view the bloody entertainment. Bragga and Lobkag started in opposite corners of the field. The fight commenced with an exchange of insults. Bragga was the first to exhaust his store of offensive epithets, and having done so, advanced purposefully, directly at his foe. Lobkag's wolf snarled and prowled forward in turn. The first exchange was inconclusive. Sword strokes were blocked by shields or turned by armour. But Bragga's strokes were the more dangerous. Hard pressed, Lobkag withdrew, using the speed of the great wolf to put some distance between himself and his foe. Once more Bragga advanced. Lobkag steadied his eager mount and then urged her forward. His sword descended, hard and fast and accurate, and Bragga reeled back, bleeding. Blooded Bragga may have been, but he was unbowed. He gathered himself and charged back into the fray. And now it was Bragga's sword that bit, and Lobkag who bled, retreating into a corner of the field. But if Bragga thought he had cornered his adversary, he was mistaken. Even as Bragga advanced, intent on delivering the killing stroke, Lobkag spurred his wolf into action, speeding away up the field, out of harm's way. The crowd jeered contemptuously. Lobkag reined his mount to a standstill and wheeled round to face Bragga. The wolf growled. Bragga swore. Lobkag was silent, but he used his spurs once more and charged once more into contact. And again sword blows were exchanged. Shields shivered and armour rang, but neither orc could land a telling blow. And again it was Lobkag who fell back. Bragga cursed his opponent as a coward, taunting him, daring him to stand and exchange blows like an orc, and not run away like a goblin girl. Lobkag said nothing, but he kept his eyes fixed on Bragga as the great wolf sidestepped, circling its prey, for now staying at a safe distance. The jeers of the crowd grew louder, and now Bragga was making derisive hand gestures at Lobkag, mocking him, encouraged by the laughing crowd. And as his gestures became more extravagant, he threw his arms wide, urging Lobkag to come and fight. That was Bragga's final act. Once more Lobkag used his spurs. The great she-wolf sprang forward, and before Bragga could raise his shield, her deadly fangs were buried in his throat. The crowd roared its approval. Lobkag was the victor.